Hello everyone, Cheek here with another Transformers review, and today I will be reviewing the Transformers Legacy Target 4-pack exclusive Prime Universe Cliffjumper, and I think they did a pretty good job of staying faithful to the character as far as how he looked in the show. I honestly think this is a pretty cool mold regardless, because it transforms somewhat uniquely, at least compared to, the standard car formers. So I think that's pretty nifty. And of course, I think it's pretty cool that we're getting another one. Even though he wasn't in the show for very long, he died in I think the first 2 minutes or less than 2 minutes. It was very short. It was very sad. But of course, he was voiced by The Rock, so obviously he wasn't going to be there for very long, except for flashbacks and stuff. Anyway, he's pretty cool. I've always wanted to really get a hold of Cliffjumper. And the original Prime ones are generally pretty expensive, just because they're obviously hard to find. Almost at this point, pretty much anything from that period is hard to find and get a hold of, just because people really want them. Is one of the best shows ever, at least in my opinion, and in a lot of other people's. And I finally got the whole show on disc, so that's pretty cool. Anyway, but let's see a look at the noggin, and he's actually one of the main reasons why I got that 4-pack to begin with. Him in Squeeze Play, but man, does that look pretty cool. And of course, the rest of the details pretty standard, I guess. I mean, you can see the vehicle mode horns, which is probably one complaint that some people would have. The tires look pretty good. They're the standard snap-on, but they hide it pretty well on this one, which I think is really nice. But yeah, that's pretty much about it for detail, at least for robot mode. The head is on a ball joint. You can look up and down. Doesn't really get any wibbly-wobbly. You can do a full 360. It's very stiff. Arms can go out about that far. Can do a, well, let's see, come on. It can do a full 360 if it wasn't for the fact of this kibble on the back. That's the main gripe I have with it, is just that kibble right there. But it's not the worst kibble I've seen. Got bicep rotation, about 90-degree bend at the elbow. There is bending at the wrist, but it doesn't really seem to be for it's not for transformation, but there is no wrist rotation, but you can rotate them out just a little bit if you want to get away from that part of the side of the car or car door. You do get waist rotation, so forward that far, so you can kick pretty high. That's actually pretty nice. And then he can't go back very far just because of this part of the car mode. It's not that much kibble, but it just blocks the way, so can't get that much there. Pretty much a knee rotation, so that's not the greatest, but whatever. Get about 90-degree bend at the knee, just a little over, and then you get some ankle tiltage, if you count that as being perfectly straight, and then it goes like that. So there is a little bit. It's just a really weird, it's like the opposite. So I think that's kind of funny. I guess you could do this if you want to, but then that would just look even weirder. But I don't know, I feel like maybe that would have been better in a sense, but can't exactly do that. Anyway, in some ways it feels like the legs are mistransformed, but they are not. So yeah, that's pretty much about it for the robot mode. He does come with some weapons. I know that he had the standard, gun, hand turns into a gun type thing, but I don't understand what you can do all sorts of stuff with the weapons they have, but it's like this weird claw thing that you can put together. You can take the claws off. You could then plug them into these things if you so want to, but it's just weird. There's like a squarish one, a circleish one. Focus. There's a circleish one, and then, like I said, there's this thing. So it's just a weird thing that you can do. And then you can just organize it differently, and then I guess you can plug it into his hand, or plug it onto his, get over here, or put it onto his forearm. If you want, it honestly worked better to have it on the side of his arm rather than on his hand. Even then, it doesn't really want to go in there. just because it's a little recessed. So I guess shoulder will be your best bet. But honestly, I think the weapon they included is really stupid. I'm sure there'll be a third-party company that will make 3D printed guns for him or something. But considering that, I mean, you don't see him very often, but considering he likes to brawl, I mean, he did use his guns, but he did like to brawl. So even if you just have him without guns, I feel like he looks tough enough to be able to fight without guns. But yeah, that's about it for Cliffjumper in his robot mode. So let's go ahead and get him into his car mode. And here we have Cliffjumper in his vehicle mode. I think it looks pretty good, except the only downside is it just doesn't really roll all that well, like cars should, but whatever. I mean, as long as it looks cool. It's not like I'm constantly rolling around my Transformers in car mode. I'd say it's pretty accurate to the show, but I'm not 100% certain. But as far as I can remember, it looks pretty close. Maybe a little bit boxier, but I think it looks really nice. Definitely one I wouldn't mind seeing, assuming that he's accurate enough. I hope they give Bumblebee the same treatment, not necessarily same mold, but just, redoing him. But as long as they don't do it the way they did Bulkhead and Knockout, I think I would be pleased to see more characters from this universe redone. Anyway, that's about it for the Transformers Legacy box set Cliffjumper from the Prime universe. And if you like this review and you'd like to see more, please click that like and subscribe button to see more. And until next time, have a good one, everyone.